Owen Tippett might be the most polarizing forward on the Philadelphia Flyers right now. On one hand, he's got the size, the shot, and the highlight reel goals. On the other, he's been streaky, inconsistent, and at times frustrating. But heading into the 2025-2026 season, Tippett's once again in the spotlight. With the Flyers potentially pushing for playoff contention, the team needs more than flashes from Tippett. They need consistency, leadership, and finish. So what's real and what's noise? Today, we're going to dive into Owen Tippett's evolution, his 2024-25 setbacks, and what he must do to take the next step. So keep it here. So let's start with the trade that brought Tippett to Philly. The one that sent Claude Giroux to Florida. A tough moment for the franchise, no doubt. The return, a 2024 first-round pick, a third-rounder, and the former 10th overall pick who hadn't quite lived up to expectations. At the time, Tippett was viewed as a gamble. Great shot, strong skater, but lacked the ability to put it all together consistently. That didn't change overnight when he came to the Flyers, but the pieces started to fall into place. Tippett would go on to score 10 points in 21 games to close out the 2021-22 season. He looked more comfortable, more involved, and for the first time in years, he was getting top 6 minutes. In the 2022-23 season, Tippett exploded for 27 goals and 49 points in 77 games. That was the breakout. That was the proof of concept. The shot, lethal. The speed, noticeable. He looked like a building block for the Flyers' future. 2023-24 brought similar results, 26 goals and a step forward defensively. Tippett was used in all situations and even started earning reps on the penalty kill. He wasn't just scoring, he was becoming a reliable NHL player. But that brings us to the 2024-25 season, and this is where the questions started to creep in again. Look, I can be honest. Owen Tippett's 2024-25 season didn't live up to the hype. After back-to-back strong years, fans expected him to push for 30 goals, take over games more consistently, and maybe even become one of the top 3 forwards on the Philadelphia Flyers. Instead, he finished with just 22 goals and 42 points in 75 games. That's a step down. It's not disastrous, but disappointing nonetheless. Tippett went ice cold for long stretches. There were 2 separate 10-plus game stretches without a goal. His decision-making with the puck was shaky at times, especially in the neutral zone. Turnovers crept in, and while he still created scoring chances, the finish just wasn't there when the Flyers needed it most, particularly down the stretch when the playoff race could have gotten tight. And defensively, he regressed. Tippett looked slower in his own zone, sometimes lost in coverage, and had trouble adjusting to line changes as the Flyers mixed and matched line combos. He ended the year a minus 15, and several of those came at critical points in close games. The concern with Tippett isn't that he's bad. It's that he might plateau as a streaky second liner instead of the top line scorer I think Flyers fans hoped they were getting. The skating's good, but not elite. The shot is great, but he needs to create more on his own. And when the games get tight, Tippett sometimes disappears, especially when he's not producing offensively. And there's also valid questions about his hockey IQ. At times, he forces plays that aren't there, skating himself into trouble or trying low percentage shots that kill possession. And for a player with this much ice time and opportunity, 42 points just isn't enough. But here's the thing. Tippett is still just 26. He has size, he has one of the best shots on the team, and he's shown multiple times that when he's on, he's borderline unstoppable. He scored 9 goals in an 11-game stretch in December, and he still leads all Flyers forwards in shots on goal. And his compete level never really disappears. It just doesn't always translate to results. Danny Briere still believes in him. Rick Tocchet will still give him big minutes, and when he's put with the right center, like a Sean Couturier, he can thrive. It's just about putting it together for a full 82-game stretch. So what does this year look like? Expect Tippett to start the year in the top 6. Likely on a line with Couturier, or even potentially play with Trevor Zegras if the chemistry works. He'll be featured on the top power play unit, likely on the flank or in the bumper where he can get clean looks on the one-timer. The pressure will be there. If he doesn't produce early, guys like Tyson Foerster, Bobby Brink, or even Alex Bump could start cutting into his role. But if Tippett finds his rhythm, we could see a bounce-back season in a big way. With Michkov drawing top defenders, Tippett might get more open looks than ever. So here's the bottom line. Owen Tippett has the tools. He has the trust. But does he have that next level? 2024-25 showed us that he still struggles with consistency, that he hasn't quite figured out how to be the guy every night. But 2025-26, it's a new year and maybe his most important one yet. If Tippett can clean up his decision-making, cut down the cold streaks, and cash in on his chances, he could score 30-plus goals. If not, he might settle into a middle six role long-term, and that's okay, but it's not what the Flyers hoped for when they made him the centerpiece of the Giroux trade. Now let's dive into some numbers. Tippett's expected goals in 2024-25 dropped below 20 for the first time since his rookie year. His shooting percentage hovered around 8.4%, well below his career average. He ranked bottom 3 on the Flyers in high danger conversion rate, despite leading the team in shot attempts. And on the flip side, he was top 5 in zone entries with control and drew a solid number of penalties. So the underlying metrics paint a clear picture. He still drives possession, but he needs to finish better and make smarter decisions with the puck in tight areas. Tippett's got the skill to score 30 goals, but he's got to figure out when to shoot and when to hold. His tools are NHL plus, but his feel is still catching up. Opposing scouts respect the danger he brings, especially off the rush, but question whether he can carry a line or elevate teammates. He's got a top 6 shot and a bottom 6 brain. Whether that's fair or not, it's the kind of perception Tippett is still fighting. So here's a tough question. If Tippett can't elevate his game this year, do the Flyers move on? If Forster, Bump, or even Bobby Brink take a leap, Tippett could become expendable, especially if another team thinks they can fix his inconsistency issues. But if he finds another level, he becomes part of Philly's next playoff core. Tippett, Forster, Michkov, Zegras. That's a fun group. But if he can't crack 25 goals again, he might be a trade piece. The pressure's on. The opportunity's there. Tippett's future might just ride on what he does over the next 82 games. So Flyers fans, what do you think? Is Tippett part of the long-term plan, or is this the last year we see him in orange and black? Drop your take in the comments. And hey, if you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and stay locked in as we gear up for what could be a make or break season for Owen Tippett in orange and black. In the meantime, don't forget to keep it high, keep it wide. We'll see you next time on HW Hockey.